Today we celebrate the Feast of the Presentation of the Lord, which is now 40 days after Christmas. And so in the Gospel reading, we hear about Simeon, a righteous and devout man, and who God promised he would see the Messiah of the Lord before he passed away. And so when Jesus comes to the temple, he makes this prediction that, behold, this child is destined for the fall and rise of many in Israel, and to be a sign that will be contradicted. And you yourself, he says to Mary, a sword will pierce, so that the thoughts of many hearts may be revealed. And then Simeon, in the Canticle of Simeon, which we pray at night prayer, says, Now, Master, let me go, my servant, go in peace, according to your will, for my eyes have seen your salvation, which you prepared in the sight of all the peoples, a light for revelation to the Gentiles, and glory for your people Israel. We also hear in the Gospel about the prophetess Anna, who is a widow, and she gives thanks to God and speaks about the child. And so I offer today a reflection from epriest.com, and it has three ways to contemplate the presentation. The first is glory of the Father, light of the nations. And so contemplate the scene from God's perspective. The Son, now in human history, enters the temple for the first time. The Son enters the house of the Father. He, the perfect Lamb for whom no earthly sanctuary is holy enough, accepts to be consecrated in this place built by men, this place that was dedicated to the memory of the signs that were all in expectation of him. The true Lamb arrives at last in the place of offering. The temple was above all a place of sacrifice to gain God's favor. It was a place of expiation to free oneself of the inheritance of sin, and a place of prayer to offer fitting honor and praise to the one true God. And here on this day, in the arms of Mary, comes the only sacrifice that counts. For without him, no other sacrifice has meaning, whether in sacred rituals or our personal lives. A second way, every male that opens the womb shall be consecrated to the Lord. So in the second way, we contemplate this scene through the heart of Mary. In the simple rite of consecration, the Son is going to recognize his belonging to the Father, but he will do it through Mary's fidelity to the prescribed ritual. Yet who can speak for this child? Can anyone speak for the zeal of his heart, the hunger of his heart to suffer for souls? Mary's pure and humble heart emerges as his spokesperson, and it speaks the language of self-giving and donation, though under the rituals prescribed by the law. For their sake, I consecrate myself. She reflects to the world what has been communicated to her by her Son, who is flesh of her flesh. In our ordinary life, we elevate the meaning of small events in union with Christ. Flesh of our flesh by grace, he enables us to live a consecration to a mission in his name. Our acts are made from the power of Christ's living presence, moving our heart and will. And lastly, a sword shall pierce your heart. Now we contemplate the true temple of Christ's body on the cross, where every consecration is made perfect. Yes, Christ gives us the privilege to speak the words that echo from his heart. Over time, he perfects this language in us if we are faithful to the cross of our life. My baptismal consecration is all about speaking from what is in the heart of Christ, so that his words pierce my own heart and replace that heart of stone with a new heart. I seek to speak like Christ, chaste, poor, and obedient, with a language forged and pounded into full authenticity at the cross. My death to sin and egoism will call forth the risen life of the new man of the kingdom, possible only through the fire of the Spirit that flows from the open side of Christ. And so they offer a conversation with Christ. O Jesus, make my soul a temple worthy of your entry. May the walls of my heart be adorned with purity, honesty, and upright intention in all I say and do. May its floors upon which you walk be sealed with modesty and sincerity and lead you to an undivided heart.